Your photography won't be complete without this particular lens. Which lens? Well, roll titles and we'll find out. Hi YouTube, Brian James at Micro Four Thirds Guy with you once again on the first video of this month. And yes, you've got the, let's put the scenario into place. You're out taking photos and it's that special sort of thing comes up, that once in a lifetime shot, and you don't have the lens for it. You don't have the right lens for it. Maybe it's one of those sort of shots where you need a super telephoto lens to get it. And you know you're just going to have to crop in and crop in and crop in if you want to see anything. It's going to be grainy and horrible. Or maybe it's one of those super wide angles, maybe even a fisheye lens that you want to get that fantastic shot which is giving you that unbelievable wide angle distortion perspective. Maybe it's that. Maybe you've found some insects or some flowers and you want to do that macro shot and you need that particular macro lens, that specialist lens. Maybe you're doing buildings and you want to stop having that converging parallels, so you need a tilt shift lens maybe to get it on there. Whatever it is, you need that lens. It could be that super fast, super bokeh lens that you need for that special thing like a portrait or whatever. And speaking of that, it may just be that you need that particular prime lens to make it set complete. So what do? Well, it's not just a want, is it? I mean, let's face it, your photography is good enough, you need it. You need to go out and buy that lens. Yes, it might be £2,000, but you need that lens. And nothing's going to stop you buying it. And this is the problem that we have. This is what I've done so many times in the past. I've got lenses like you wouldn't believe. But I'm across here in Cyprus. I quite often come across here on holiday, but now that I'm living over here, it's even more so. What do you pack into your bag? Are you going to be using that lens ever again? Is it one of those sort of things which is just so big that you think, well, I need to leave that at home? Maybe you're not going on holiday, you're just going out for a photo shoot for the day, but, well, you've got this particular macro lens, but you're going to be going out and doing landscapes and maybe birding. So you don't put it in the bag. You don't put that bag, which you put that lens in the bag that you spent all that money on not very long ago, because, well, you're probably not going to use it on this shoot. So it stays at home. This wonderful lens you spent a fortune on. It's pristine, it's underused, it sits there. And then you go out on your landscape shoot where you're looking at birds, but all of a sudden you look down and there's this wonderful little multicolored insect just down by your feet. If only you had that macro lens. You can't get it in with this. If you try using the big lens that you've got, yes, you'd have to be 100 feet away, but then it's not right and it's not going to give that particular shot. Oh, if only you'd brought that macro lens along. You know, the one that you spent a couple of £1,000 on. Or you go out in a nice landscape shoot and you suddenly find a small village church and you wander in there, but you hadn't brought that super fast prime lens with you, you know, the f1.2, and you walk into the little church and it's so dark in there. If only you had that 1.2 lens, you'd be able to take photographs in here. But you used it for a portrait 8 months ago and you haven't used it since. What was the point of bringing it? We've all got lenses like that. We've all got equipment like that. So what do we do about it? Well, sometimes you need to really reassess what you have, what you've bought it for. And sometimes you need to reassess when you're in that want mode, that mode where you've just taken that one special photo and it would have been really good if you'd had the XYZ lens with you. You need to take an assessment of, well, how often is it going to be used? Is it really your speciality? Is it something which is going to grow as your speciality? Now, putting this into perspective, if you've got somebody who's gone on the first bird shoot and they didn't have a long telephoto zoom lens, you know, that could be a very life-changing thing, but are you going to be doing bird shoots again? If you're somebody who's quite likely to say, yes, I thoroughly enjoyed that, this is something I really want to specialise in, then maybe that's the time to do it. That's maybe the time to buy that lens. There's an awful lot of people who do the specialist shooting as their normal shooting. So if you've got somebody who's into birding or sport, that long lens isn't just a want, it is a real need. But you've got to decide if it's a want, if it's a need. And there's an awful lot of time and an awful lot of money is being spent on equipment which is never going to be used. Do you have lenses like that? If you do, let me know in the comments below. I'd love to know which lenses you bought, why, and how often you've used them. Now, we've all got the standard sort of lens, you know, the 12 to 45s or the 12 to 60s or whatever in the Micro Four Thirds line. And they're our day-to-day normal lenses. We're going to use those all the time. 99% of the shots are done on those. But I did an awful lot of portrait photography. Now, for me, portrait photography, when I was using full frame, I'd be looking at about 85mm lens to get that lack of distortion, to get that really good portrait, which wasn't, you know, 3/4 portrait, which wasn't going to make somebody look odd. So I didn't want a super wide angle lens. And I wanted to be able to use the lenses that I've got to be able to do the shots that I wanted. But because I was doing hundreds and hundreds of those shots of people every day that I was shooting, that was an essential lens. It wasn't just a want, it was a need. But when I was doing those sort of shots, did I need a 300mm f4 telephoto lens? No. When I've been out birding, when I've been out bird shooting with my friend Paul, did I actually have a need for one of those long lenses? Well, no. He used the bird one. I was sort of wandering along because I was interested in what he was doing and also interested as a friend. Now, I could have made the reasoning for that, but I couldn't. And this is the whole point. Do you need the lens, or do you just want that lens? Is it something you're going to use? It's going to be life-changing because it's going to take you on to a new strategy. Somebody who's into going off and taking photographs of birds and likely to be doing it regularly. In that case, it's not a want, it's a need. Go and buy that lens. But have a look through your case first. Have a look at all those bits of kit that you've bought, which seemed really essentials at the time, and never got used, never got taken out because they were too big, too heavy, or the likelihood of you using that is so slim because, well, you only came across a situation once, you never seen it again since, and you're not necessarily going to be going out looking for it. Let me know, as I say in the comments below, as to what you think about that, which kit you've got, which you've bought, which kit is essential. Let me know which ones are essential, but why. If you have that 300mm f4 lens in your arsenal and it gets used daily, why does it get used? What do you do that does that? Let me know in the comments below. Now again, if you've enjoyed this video, just give me a subscribe button below and thumbs up, and hit the little bell and tick all to get uploads of these videos in the future. And if you enjoyed it, how about buy me a coffee? But there's a link below, buymeacoffee.com/Brian James. But I'd also like to thank these wonderful people who are my Patreon patrons for giving all the support to the channel that they do. Again, if you'd like to become a patron, there's a link below. Anyway, until the next time, keep on taking your camera out with whichever piece of kit that you buy, whether it's needed or essential, and go off and take the best photos you can. Till the next time, bye bye.